So I bought this other battery, and they are about 140 bucks. I bought another one because, well, as I said, I was preparing to go to Baja, but then I realized that I need more electricity. I need to, keep running that refrigerator freezer as much as I can until it gets dark. But then what are you going to do at night? Just twiddle your thumbs? No. So you need electricity, right? And what if it's cloudy all the time like it is right now? And I think I would have been pretty uncomfortable. So I splurged and I bought another battery. It's the same one, the same group size and all. What I'm going to do is, since this battery is like, 2,000 pounds, I've been holding on to this piece of plywood for the longest time. And I said, one day I could make use of it. Well, now I'm going to make use of it. What's basically going to happen is this is going to go aligned up against the wheel well. So both batteries are going to be on top of the plywood. If I make my measurements correctly, I should have at least the bottom part and a cover and one side. So I don't have enough plywood, but I do have one for my stove. And I don't need this thickness for the stove. This is, first of all, it's a sealed lead acid. And second of all, it's not going to be completely covered. The back of it will be open, and so there'll be enough, ventilation. I might drill a hole on the side. It's not going to be confined inside a box. It's going to be half exposed from all directions. So I've almost completed this battery box, and this is gonna go. This is gonna go. Hold on, like that. Come on. Damn, this is heavy. This is gonna go about right there. That's a heavy ass battery, man. Damn, that wore me out. Also because my knees are killing me. If I did this correctly, so now I have to cut this end. I might be able to use the part I cut to put a leg underneath it, just to reinforce it a bit more. And this way I'll have two batteries. They're the same brand, Deep Cycle Marine battery. This is an Everstart. It's supposed to be, I think, 100 and some amp hours. I don't know, so it says. I had to buy this little small drill bits. I found this for $5 at Home Depot. It's a nice little set. So I had to order the battery for this rechargeable drill. It's a really nice one too. So I had to order the battery. That was about $35. Also are these 1.5 inch. And what you do is you drill a pre-hole, whatever it's called, I don't know. And then I gotta drill two more. So you pre-drill it, don't go all the way in. I just go until I feel that it touched this guy. And that happened to that was done to all of them. The ones on the bottom. There's 3 of them on these guys. And then 2, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So the goal here is to cover this to prevent any water. This is not going to go on top. It's just an example. The goal is to cover that. The sliding door is, well, right there. And you see that gap? Well, if it's ever raining, I don't know, somewhere in Baja, for example, and you wake up in the morning and there's moisture, it could drip if I have it exposed onto the terminals. And that's what I'm trying, that's the whole purpose of this. And also because I don't know where else to put the darn thing. I don't know. Okay, that's where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I'm in Fiesta Shelter Island, you guys. Again. I'm getting desperate to get out of here. To get out of the apartment. And I want to go looking for a trailer. Long term. Not just, because I keep waiting for the right trailer. I have found, several of them. But they're really far. And I said, wow, for me to go there, I got to do this, and this to the van, prepare for this, and that. You just can't get up and go. you know, because you're going to be sleeping in the van. I'm not going to go to a hotel, you know, and pay $90 a night just to sleep. You know, so I want to be comfortable. So I need my electricity. I need my stove set up. I need my van to be running good. So I said, well, what if I don't find one? And then what? You're going to just come all the way back to San Diego? I said, hell no. I said, I'm going to stay out there and rough it out. So if I'm going to rough it out, I want to have a nice setup. I'm looking at my work here, and there is a gap right there. That's okay, it's not too bad. Just when I was talking about rain, guess what? You see that window? There's raindrops. Look at that nasty black cloud. Look at that. Just when I was talking about rain, and what happens? Woo-wee. I wasn't even paying attention. The only reason I paid attention is because it got a little cold, and I said, what's going on here? So all of a sudden I looked out and I see this massive black cloud, and it was getting cold. So when I reached out to grab the handle to close the door, water started dripping on me. So just imagine if the battery was there exposed. I know a drop or two is not going to hurt it, but you know, it's just the point is preventing anything really bad. And this is a really nice place. I really like this place, Shelter Island. But yeah, they started enforcing the parking here, big time. I think you can stay until 10 or 1, I think, something like that. So that's the other reason I want to, you know, fix this battery stuff and get the hell out of the apartment more often until I can leave permanently. Because I get sick there. It gets really bad there. It's very, very unhealthy there. Yesterday, before I left, I don't know, man, there was some people screaming and who knows what, man. And I said, what now? Because the fucking police is always there. So I said, now what? I didn't pay attention to it. I just put my headphones on, and next thing you know, when I was going to go to sleep, you know, after, I don't know, a couple hours, I see all these lights. So I go and look, and I said, what is this now? I said, now what also? I again say, now what? And there's like 4 cop cars facing my window. And then there's another 2 on the other side. And then there's an ambulance and a fire department. And there's another couple of cops there. I'm like, man. I said, what the fuck is this, man? God damn. It's like, when is it ever going to stop? You know? I mean, it's so traumatizing living there, you know, with all that crap. Because it's not just, you know, cop cars come once in a while. They're there like every freaking week almost, you know. And then this morning, when I was bringing all my stuff, you know, I had to bring all this bucket full of tools that I'm sitting on. And I forget what else. Oh, my laundry. I was going to go do laundry. I don't know if maybe I should go do that, you know, because it's raining right now. And over to Ocean Beach. I love going to this one laundromat. And my clothes are all dirty too. You know, maybe I will go do that. So anyway, so I was carrying all that. And I have this little dolly that I have. Here it is. It's got 4 wheels. It expands. And it's got a handle and it folds down. I'm sorry, I can't show you right now. And I get on the elevator and there's like blood on the frickin' wall. Ugh. And I mean a lot of blood on the wall. And all of that stuff just traumatizes, you know? Because you wonder what the hell happened. You know, it's not just like a little drop of blood. It was like a whole splatter of blood. Oh, man. So I do got to get back there tonight because supposedly they mailed my passport and it arrived on Friday. Today is Sunday. But the problem with this building is that the mail does not come directly to your mailbox. They leave it in bulk to the main office, to the management, and then the management, whenever they feel like it, they'll come out and distribute the mail. Damn, I said, now I got to wait until Monday because otherwise I was going to go to Mexico. And also they said that they delivered my certificate of citizenship, my birth certificate, and I forget what else. That they mail separately. Oh, okay. So I've nailed my box, and now I've got these 2-gauge cables to connect both batteries. This one I just crimped right now using this. I'll show you this tool right now, and this ain't going nowhere. I mean, this is really strong. So basically, what you do is you lift it up, insert this thing right in the center, and then you have to grab this mallet and you have to whack it really hard. I had to do it a couple times because what I did is I whacked first. I did it from the side first so that it can grab this other end inside, overlap, and then I had to do the other side like that so that it can overlap this one. And then I did it in the center so that the one that's overlapping gets smashed down, and that ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. I did these myself, but by hand and some other device. I did those two, and this one's all right. I mean, it's just bent. The wire is just bent, but it's very strong and very tight in there. I'll check it again. Unfortunately, they're both colored red, and I'm trying to find my marker so that I can put more marks, all over the cable to make sure it's labeled as negative. This thing I bought online. I forget how much it was. It wasn't a lot, but it's pretty heavy. And again, you grab this handle and you lift it up like that, and you insert the wire and the lug in there. Just let it go, and then you just whack it with the mallet. This one I got it at Harbor Freight. I think it was, I don't remember how much it was. Okay, so the next part of this, before I connect the batteries, I don't want to disconnect the batteries from the terminals because I put a lot of work installing these things. And the problem with the other Renogy controller, the problems with that one is that they were never able to tighten, and they would always slip from underneath there, and they were always giving me problems. Always. For any slight movement, they would slip. And one day I was trying to fix it, and instead of fixing it, well, I broke some part inside, and then I was afraid to put it back together. So I had to buy this one, and this one is a really nice one. It's a 60 amp, which means you can go 24 and 48. The only difference between this one and the other Renogy Rover is that this one you cannot connect two of them together. That's the only difference, they said, because there's a Renogy Rover something, and it's a little more money, and then there's this guy. This one was like $260. But again, the difference is that the other one you can connect two of these together. And this one you can only do this one alone, but I don't need more, because this one you can connect, I think, 1400 watts of solar if it's in 24 volt, and I think 800 at 12 volts. So I've got 400 on the roof, and I wouldn't mind having some more. Absolutely. 800 watts? Are you kidding? That's nice. So I got 400 up there right now. What you're supposed to do is disconnect the batteries and I think the solar, but anyway, so I typed in on ChatGPT, and I said, I don't want to disconnect the battery from here because it's those two, the positive and negative, those are the batteries. Because again, I put a lot of work to reinforce them so that they don't slip out, and then they got this cover on here that I put on there. I mean, I put a lot of work. There's fuses underneath there also. Behind this, there's a big old fuse there too. And then there's, of course, this other fuse right there. So I said, I don't want to disconnect all this crap, man. I said, I wonder if I can just disconnect the solar panels from the roof. So I typed in GPT, and it said, yes, you can absolutely do that without having to disconnect that or the batteries. So what I got to do is, this is the wire going outside to the roof, and up there is the connections called MC4, I think they're called. MC4 connections, and all I got to do is disconnect both of them, negative and the positive, and you can leave the battery. So you can connect it directly, the negative first, Is that right? Yes, the negative first. Yeah, connect both negative to negative, and then you connect the positive last. So positive to positive. Again, I gotta mark these with a black pen. I gotta find it. I know I have one in here to make sure they're labeled separately. And then once that's done, it said let it sit for like 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes so that they can regulate the voltage equally. And they're both fully charged. This one is showing 12.5 volt right now, and I believe yesterday this one showed 12.7. So you're good. That's good. That's what you want. Once those two are connected, let it sit so that they can regulate for a few minutes, and then go up to the roof and connect the MC4 connections, and that should be it. Okay, you guys, so we're back with this battery, and I was able to connect both batteries now. So okay, we're gonna connect now the terminals. Let's go up here, show you the terminals. See, these are the terminals here. So you connect the positive and the negative back together. You can't miss this, this part. I mean, they're both exactly, you can't miss it. So anyhow, so we're gonna connect these two and then go back down. All right, guys, so I was able to fix this after all, and this is how it came out. It's finally flushed all the way. I had to loosen up some of this extra positive and negative wire going down here, and the fuse box, I had to move it from there down to here, which gave me like a lot of more extra wire, almost a foot, and then I was able to shift it all the way to the right up against the wheel well here. What I did is I attached this eye screw onto this plywood, and that ain't gonna go nowhere because this is solid plywood. It's really good wood. And then I mounted this guy here. I left it a little bit of room because I think I might be able to remove it if in case I ever need to work on it. And then I ran it underneath here. I decided not to run this material through over here and then through the battery, because otherwise if it shifts forward, it's going to take the leg, and then it's going to take all of this entire thing. So if it takes the leg, it's going to fall down. So instead what I did, I gave it, it has a little bit of flex, maybe a little too much, but maybe that's not too bad actually. Maybe about 1 inch of flex down here. And it's screwed on there with 2 screws, as you can see there. See, there's 2 of them onto that 2x4. So there's one on the side and there's one on the front on the angle. I think that's a good fit there. So I put 2 screws in case one of them comes off in an emergency. That piece of 2x4, the previous owners built this this whole setup, and it's bolted onto the frame of the van back there. So that ain't going to go nowhere. So now this is very secure. Again, it ain't going to go nowhere. And I decided not to put a leg either because, let me go down here, hold on. Let me get out of the van. Oh, my knees, all those groans are my knees that are in pain. Oh, fuck. Yeah, and also this is not going to go this way either because I wedged 2 of these in there and they're not going to go anywhere. So between those 2, this ain't going nowhere. I'm moving it, really strong, and it ain't going to go nowhere. I don't think it's going to shift because it's definitely holding on really well to these 2. And I think that's good enough. Maybe another day, I might put one of these, or maybe just right here, right on the center, just to give it an extra amount of support. And I think I'm pretty much done. I now have 2 deep cycle marine batteries in here. So the next item up to buy is a shunt, because the shunt will definitely tell you the exact charge of the batteries. Yeah, I think I did a great job. I really think I did. Yeah, I've got enough power to run my refrigerator freezer, this guy here, till later in the evening in case it's a cloudy day. And I also have enough electricity to run, if I'm playing my guitar, I can run these guys also for longer periods now. The benefit now is that I can run a fan, which is that little fan over there, right there, and run my heater. So I won't need the electric blanket, I'll just run the heater. And eventually the next goal is to get a vent here. So that's it for now, you guys. And I'm not sure what more to tell you guys, but I think I've done as much as I could to fix this thing. And I think it's going to work just fine. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.